Hello and welcome to Radio Free Nintendo. My name is James Jones and I sound aggravated. I'm joined today by Greg Leahy.
Ahoy, hoy, everyone.
And Guillaume Vayette.
Hello, hello.
It's August 7th, 2025. I'm not aggravated. I don't know. I just noticed as I was talking, I'm like, I sound aggravated. What is that? John is not with us this week. I want to point something out. Last week, I flubbed it and thought Guillaume wouldn't be here this week. And we had a big whole back and forth conversation about it where I got corrected. And no, Guillaume will be here this week. Next week, he's gone. John, during none of that point, felt the need to note that he was going to be out this week. So that's cool. He did send me a text about it on Wednesday telling me that, quote, I am out tonight. To which my response was, yes, it's Thursday. And then we started talking about Chipper Jones hanging out on the set of WCW because we found a video of TBS's Dinner and a Movie shooting a sequence from ringside. Fucking WCW, man. It's the worst. It's the best. It's the best worst.
Is Dinner and a Movie still going on?
No. This was from 1998.
Okay, that tracks.
But they just dropped the whole. Apparently, the set is only 5 foot by 4 foot by 6 foot, and they just dropped the whole set ringside and just filmed a sequence right in front of a wrestling ring.
Nice.
So stupid. WCW is so dumb. It's beautiful. It's beautifully stupid. It's funnier because they weren't in on the joke. They thought they were doing something correct. They were not. So yeah, that was John's like, oh, no, I'm gonna be out this week. I'm like, cool. Thanks, buddy. He's also out next week. So next week it's Greg and myself. We're putting together some plans, but I don't want to announce them because that's pretty much how I guarantee they don't come to pass. But I think we have a plan for that episode that will be interesting, and it will play on the fact that it is explicitly just the two of us. We can make it if we try, because no one else will be around to talk about the fucking shit we played, because no one else played this shit. This is episode 937, which is one more than last week's episode 936, where I put John Lindemann in a fire. Last week, there was a partner direct. This week, there was an indie showcase, because Nintendo has no interest in telling us what they plan to release, but everybody else will find out about. We're not going to spend as much time.
It's funny, isn't it? They've done in the past, have they not actually had these two things as back-to-back broadcasts?
They have, in fact, in the past at one point done them as literally one, then goes right into the other.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if they've done this before, though, where they've separated them and had them sort of back-to-back weeks. So perhaps that's part of the motivation, is to kind of just test these things out, in terms of does it help spike more interest in each presentation if they're separated by the week, or is it better to aggregate and get everybody's eyeballs on it all at once, rather than kind of, especially maybe concerned with the indie side of it, is all certain kind of viewers are just are going to kind of tune that out more,
right? And a bunch of viewers are going to watch it in the hopes that this is the time they're finally going to see Silk Song. It's not the time you're going to see Silk Song. So we did not see Silk Song. We saw a game that looks vaguely similar to Hollow Knight, but no, it wasn't it. Actually, though, we did get Silk Song news, improbably enough, is that it will be playable at Nintendo's booth at Gamescom. Gamescom? I can never fucking remember.
I believe it's Gamescom.
In Germany.
Yeah, in Germany.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I think it is. But then one of them is the fucking Tiger Electronics handheld, and I can't remember which one's which.
Yeah, true. Because it sort of read as game.com, but I don't think you were meant to say the dot bit.
Because it actually pronounces it to you. All right, it is Gamescom 2025.
Oh, okay.
From Cologne. And then the Gamecom is the Tiger Electronics device.
Yeah, it looks like .com, but it's not, I guess. But
it is written as game.com. It is there is explicitly a dot there, but if when you boot the system up, the Game Boy had the doo-doo. This one goes Gamecom activated. By the way, if you have never seen a Gamecom, it's a piece of shit. And this is like another entry in the list of like RFN talks to you about consoles you can't play now, probably never could play, never should have played, and are just terrible. Gamecom is a particularly horrific piece of hardware, but it did have a modem baked into it. Do you want to take a guess at the speed of that modem? I say it wasn't built in. A modem went into the cartridge slot. Because it had 2 slots, one for a game and one for things.
Oh, it's 56K. What we?
You wish. 14.4.
Oh, wow. I think that was like the speed of my first modem in like 1993.
This was 97.
Yeah, probably 94. That's where by the time we got the modem.
Just hell. Just a hellscape. Tiger Electronics had previously introduced its R-Zone console in 1995. I remember the R-Zone. Do you all remember what the R-Zone is a competitor to? What they build it as a competitor to?
Isn't that one where you put it on your head, the R-Zone?
Yeah, it's a headset, and it projects it onto a piece of plastic. So it looks like it's AR, but it's not. It just looks like you're wearing a really bad DBZ Scouter.
Sure, yeah. But what would that have been competing in the late 90s? With in the late 90s?
What did they say it was competing with? Is the
well, yeah,
distinction.
I suppose that could be a bit more of a stretch. You'll have to
PlayStation.
No, I wish.
Very directly. You could put me over.
Keep in mind, this is LCD game technology too, so it's like a predefined.
Yeah, it's not actually drawing, sort of unique sprites all the time. It's just filling in predefined slots.
The R-Zone console cartridges were actually had the screen baked into them for that reason. Tiger Electronics in 1995 said the R-Zone was launched as a competitor to the Virtual Boy.
Nice.
Yes, well, that's...
What a close race that was.
But here, I'm going to read this exactly as it's written, and if you were to diagram this sentence, there are so many accurate ways to diagram it. Tiger Electronics had previously introduced its R-Zone game console in 1995, M- as a competitor to Nintendo's Virtual Boy, M-, but the system was a failure. Which system?
Right.
Yes? Yes is the answer.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the Alien versus Predator tagline, except it's whoever wins, they lose.
That's right. I have used one of these. It feels really, really bad. It feels really bad. I kind of want to get one. Now I kind of want to have one just so I can show it to people. You know what it almost got, though, that Nintendo has never gotten? Fucking Symphony of the Night. It almost got a Symphony of the Night version. Fuck. But Nintendo consoles cannot have. It also almost got a Turok. And speaking of WCW, apparently there was a WCW exclusive called WCW Whiplash that was in development. Damn, look what they took from us. Anyway. Earlier this week in the Discord, I get distracted. I want to go through some things real quick. Sometimes I call GX frequent listener, and he changed his Discord tag to frequent listener GX. I meant to say frequent emailer. Less frequent but semi-frequent emailer Lemonade, who's gone by a few different names in his emails, messaged me directly to say the following. I just realized that this month it will be 10 years since I found RFN. Episode 441 was my first. Episode 439 was the last as Johnny as a host, which means on August 10th, it will be 10 years old. So congrats for 10 years of great hosting. First off, that's not true. Secondly, fuck, we've been doing this for 10 years without Johnny. What the fuck?
It's next week, really. It's the 16th, I think, is when episode 440. Episode 440 is the first one that you, as full-time host, had. So, and yeah, that was on the 16th. So, yeah, when we record next week, it'll be
No, it's this week. It's this week. Let's rip off that Band-Aid. I don't want to have anxiety for the next 7 days.
It's
happening now.
It's like 10 years. Jesus Christ. So yeah, y'all have been with we are past the halfway point of the show's life in this season, and we never actually gave it a new season number. I don't think. I think we did. I think we did give it a season number at that point, and then
we don't do seasons anymore. We don't even do decades. We're about to plough into our second decade of unchanged cast. So
I'm just gonna change it to season 6 on this episode. Like I'm doing the edit. All I have to do is change the metadata. Congratulations, guys! We're in season 6. Good job, everybody. We did it.
It's been quite a decade, hasn't it?
I'm
certainly
sad
for
now,
Nintendo.
Greg. Thanks.
I mean,
Thanks. Okay, all right, you saved it.
Certainly for Nintendo. I mean, you think about it. We've gone from 2015, a year where we ended up talking a hell of a lot about Xenoblade Chronicles X, to now where it's all fallen apart. Actually, it's completely the same. No, it isn't. It's the kind of revival that they've been on since then is pretty remarkable when you think about the sort of bleak,
unbelievable
it was at that time in terms of obviously the Wii U by 2015. It was very obvious that that had run its race and not very well. And it was the whole NX and we don't know what it is yet and all that. We were in the middle of that. And yeah, in the meantime, 3DS was kind of getting stretched like Bilbo by the ring, butter scraped over too much bread. It was the 3DS wasn't really that suitable to carry the torch all the way to 2017, but it was going to have to do it anyway.
I mean,
it's very, very different to what would follow.
The summer of Too Hot for Games. The summer of number 2 hot for games. Just the long the
holiday of too cold for Ultra Smash or something. I don't know.
Yeah. The joke that Johnny handed me the show right at the time Nintendo decided they just weren't going to release games anymore. It's like, welcome. You're in hell. Host a show. Have fun. So yeah, that was haunting. Now you all get to be old with me. Everyone's old now. We're all old. The last 10 years, I've aged 20. But yeah, we were talking about the Indie Showcase. We're not going to go through everything on the list. It's just wide swerves all over the road here, because there's other stuff to talk about. But some things that we can touch on. Yeah, so UFO 50. Was one of the games that got announced. I bought it. I've only poked that a little bit. This came out on PC. I want to say it came out last year. Basically, they had a bunch of people make like small games, like they were NES era games, and then they put them in one package and called it a day. So it's like a bunch of teams each made one of these little games, and they have achievements attached to them and stuff like that. But they often don't give you much to go on. It's just like, here's the game, you figure it out. There's all kinds of different genres of games. There's puzzles, there's shoot 'em ups, there's even an RPG. Apparently, it says, as you journey through the library, make connections and learn more about UFOsoft, the fictional 80s company behind the games, as well as their expansive shared universe that includes sequels and recurring characters. I have not gotten this far because I have only poked at 3 games, and one of them is so fucking hard I die on the first screen most of the time. And the other 2 are just one of them is a puzzle game. It more or less makes sense. One of them is like a platformer that is exploration platformer that is extremely confusing, that I do not understand. So yeah, but people really liked this when it came out. It's full of neat little Easter eggs. It coming to Switch always made sense, and it is here now. And so I picked it up. I'm looking forward to spending some time with it now that I have 100%ed the Donkey Konging, and I'm done with that game, at least for now. So this is something to play with. Why don't we just go around? Like, who else had something that caught their eye?
I mean,
from this showcase.
UFO 50 was the big thing, but then I think I'm gonna wait on it a little bit because I have a backlog of Switch 1 games to play through. But I'm interested, like, especially since like some of the games are multiplayer. Like it says 1 to 3 players.
It's a mix. Yep.
Yeah, so that could be interesting. Like Karen and I, maybe if we do the new business, well, I'll talk about it. But like we played a retro 2D exploration game, and if there's anything remotely like that, probably I'm getting UFO 50 right away.
There is one that is like that I have played, but it's very confusing.
Okay, cool.
Like I wouldn't race to get it. Let's put it that way.
Sure.
Not at least not for that game. Now there's 47 other games I haven't touched yet, so who knows? Let's see, what else did they show during the Indie World showcase? Is This Seat Taken? Was kind of an interesting puzzle game where you're put into various social settings where people have assigned seating, and as the patrons come in, you get to learn about their wants with respect to what kind of seating they would like in that circumstance. And you try to set them up with seating that makes as many people happy as possible, and you are scored based on that. They note that some of them will have strange needs, and I'm like, what does that mean? But we'll find out. Like, I thought that was a neat little twist on a puzzle game where it's like like basic stuff like, do you want a window seat or an aisle seat when you're on an airplane? But then it
does kind of seem like a kind of gamified discrete mathematics problem.
A little bit, yeah. Which might be why I'm like, oh, this is easy. Because guess what? With the comp sci degree, I took a lot of fucking discrete mathematics. Go figure.
No, it's different, but it does remind me of like, Picross obviously is very algorithmic, and you can just do that essentially in your sleep. Whereas, so it takes some of the entertainment value out of it.
It takes all the entertainment value out of it.
It did kind of call that to mind. It's different, obviously, but there's a similar procedural kind of element to it that I would imagine you just go done.
It's an optimization exercise more than Picross is, at least. Where like I might have competing needs, and it's like, how can I balance those needs against each other? Because some of them were like, I like to sit with a group of people, I like to sit by myself. Oh, okay, well that's gonna, like, in the abstract that's fine, but how does that contrast with other things and allow me to do arrangements the way I want to do them? So like I'm probably gonna grab this one too. It's $10. It's it seems like it's got a neat look too. It looks like it's on like a manila paper. And it's just kind of been drawn in very stark colors. In fact, screw it, I'll buy it now. Now I'll have 2 games to play. There, done. I just bought it. Done. Mission accomplished.
I have seen people say that it is very much a game made for the mouse. And so the developer apparently wanted to have the Switch 2 version that used the Joy-Con 2, but unfortunately they couldn't get their hands on a dev kit. So that's unfortunate. Of course, you can connect a mouse to the Switch 1, but maybe no one told them that, or they weren't interested in doing that. I don't know.
No, it's something we've heard quite a lot across just beyond the indie sphere, isn't it? That the Switch 2 development kits have not been terribly forthcoming. So I can't say as it was a shock that there wasn't that much like bespoke Switch 2 stuff in this presentation in particular. In fact, it was probably the biggest surprise is that the Mina, the Hollower demo did actually have a specific Switch 2 demo, which again probably doesn't mark it out as anything terribly different. This is the game from the creators of Shovel Knight that is essentially kind of doing a similar type of thing in terms of a retro style, but entirely kind of original game, but this time with a kind of top-down Zelda formula rather than, a side-scrolling kind of Mega Man scenario. And I think the main thing to distinguish the Switch 2 demo there is that it does have 120 hertz support, which with a game of this type of pixel art and all that, it's probably going to be pretty subtle, I would think, in terms of like it doesn't have like a bunch of elaborate animation, because it's going for that kind of like that an analogous look to like the Oracle games on Game Boy Color for Zelda, so yeah, I can't imagine it's terribly kind of consequential, but you'd still kind of notable that that's something that's switched to specific there. And I guess with the 120 hertz kind of mode, like it can be somewhat better for the for like inputs as well, right? Like I understand Street Fighter 6, it doesn't have 60 frames a second in terms of the graphical refresh, but the game itself is kind of running in the 120 hertz mode because that's going to decrease the sort of input lag potentially, I think. So, but again, I can't imagine a game like this is going to be nearly as kind of like Mina the Hollower is going to be as dependent on frame perfection for inputs, because it's probably pretty gentle. I've just poked at the start of the demo there, where you got kind of just an introduction to the scenario. Nice kind of attract scene with ominous pans up, like 8-bit dark castle fortress type of thing. It's pretty neat. And then you're kind of on a boat, and there's a sea monster attacking and stuff. It's it seems pretty interesting. And obviously, after how much I enjoyed Shovel Knight, this is what they're. When they were actually finally free from the bondage of all those tasks that they set for themselves, with the stretch goals and all that. One day they'd actually do something like completely different from Shovel Knight. I've been looking forward to it for a long time, but this is just a kind of glimpse, as you would expect.
Yeah, I'm interested. It's kind of in a space that isn't really mine the same way that like Shovel Knight was, so it's kind of like we'll see, but. I'm glad they released a demo because I'm still very curious about it. What's interesting is if you click the Indie World Showcase logo on Nintendo.com, it takes you to a bunch of indie games that includes those. But then it's got games that came out a long time ago. These are former Indie World games, like Gundog is in there. Which, by the way, Gundog, really good. I still recommend you play it. I'm trying to find like a rundown of all the announcements they had, but for whatever reason, they've decided to not do that. Oh, here we go. All right. Where was the other one I wanted to... I mentioned it. It's not Mina the Hollower. It's not Herdling.
There's this one game that caught my eye was Glacered, which is the game where you play 65 million years into the future. They make a point that you're an avian sentient creature that's descended from dinosaurs.
Yeah.
But birds, yes. But also avian from dinosaurs, but also underwater.
Yes. You're a Zora, but you've gone in reverse. The Zora left the water. These people went into it.
Right. And it looked kind of interesting. Once they showed the combat, I'm not sure exactly what I was looking at, if it was some sort of Souls-like, or if it was, I don't know. Like, you seem to be getting, like, a bead on the enemy, and then, kind of sending, like, 6 missiles all at once, a little bit like something like Rez, or, charging up a shot in Star Fox or something.
It looked okay, but it sounded better than it looked in the moment, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it seems like it still needs some work, and I don't know. But it did seem to have like a pretty interesting atmosphere. Like I saw someone comment on the Discord that like this has the potential to be like freakier than anything else that they've shown so far, including like the multiplayer horror game that they showed.
Yeah. The one I mentioned earlier that has some Hollow Knight in it is Well Dweller, which was announced as part of this direct. I want to say it's Switch PC at launch. It looks very actiony, but it's also very exploration and like power up puzzle solving.
Yeah, like they showed the Metroidvania map, and it's like it looked huge. Like I was immediately a little bit put off by it. I was just like, oh shit, that looks like a long game.
I don't like the art. It's not that it's bad. I just don't like it. It makes me uncomfortable. I do not want to see it. So that might be my biggest turn off. But like when they show the queen at the end, and I'm like, I don't like this. I want this to go away. So that might be an issue. We also had a cozy farm simulator in which you play the Herald of Destruction for a demon. So somebody's finally decided to take the piss out of the cozy farm shit. That was Neverway. Which, sure, I guess. I don't know. I'm glad that we finally come full circle on these fucking farming games in the indie directs. And then we had a game about herding cattle. So never mind. We haven't come full circle. We're right back where we started. That was Herdling, I think. But that actually seems like an interesting idea of like exploring a big open world while you're collecting these magical ungulates and adding them to your herd to go somewhere. Mm-hmm. It looks nice. It looks calming, if that's the word you might want to use for it.
And just another game that just looks huge. Like it seems like so many games look like Breath of the Wild now.
Yeah, I wasn't sure though if that game is actually open or if it's just like look at this, it's kind of open but not really. Like if it's more just like background art.
You think that was a skybox?
Yeah, a little bit, because like every time they showed the character walking, he was pretty much always walking over either a road or like very clearly in a path cut in the environment, like a building was split and it sundered in half.
Yeah,
and
a bridge of ice.
Yeah. Like if it's just there's essentially just a surrounding art box that you walk through, but really your path is pretty straightforward. But I'm trying to think what else popped out. There was some stuff in the sizzle reel that was interesting, but again, that's the sizzle reel. There's not a ton to see. Like Caves of Could, I think is what it was called.
Yeah, a game I've heard a lot about, and probably doesn't play too well on anything not a computer. But so I haven't really paid attention to this game because I feel it's a game I've never actually going to sit down and play.
Yeah.
But the stories that seem to come out of it seem to come from like all the interesting bugs that the people found in it, and then that the developers were like, you know what, this is cool, we're leaving it in.
Yeah,
like that's like, my main like the main thing that the news that get to me are just like, oh yeah, the dwarves are now shitting gold or something, and we thought that was cool, so that's what they do now. I don't know.
Welcome, gold shitters.
Yeah, I use that example, but I just made it up. I actually don't remember. It's been a while. Like this game has been in development for a long time, and I was surprised to see it in this sizzle reel for sure.
I have now named the episode "Welcome Gold Shitters," pending us getting a better name.
Look,
we got to earn it. We got to earn the better name. We got to earn the better name. And it's not, it's not a better name. Ball X Pit.
Right.
That was our like, we have a weird
like the game.com being Gamecom, it's just Ball Pit, isn't it?
I think so, yes.
The sort of cross is not to be said aloud. So it's another one of those.
I think Ball X Pit is... Oh, yeah,
pretty
it's just
sure
Ball Pit.
It's just Ball Pit in the direct, but obviously when the title's on the screen, it's got that cross or X or whatever you want to say on there for whatever reason.
Because it's time to have a ball, and the exciting new Ball Pit, and I'm like, you that sounds like it was edited in because she said Ball X Pit, and the game director with the fucking fruit on his head during his interview segment. It's like, no, there's no X. You don't say the X. He's literally got like some kind of citrus fruit sitting on top of his head. Fucking weird shit, man. These indie directs have some fucking weird shit in them. He's also holding a bowl full of the same fruit. I don't understand. I just don't. Sure. I don't get it. I don't get it.
What it looked like was a cross between a vertical scrolling shooter and like a breakout game.
I was thinking like an Arkanoid. Yeah.
Yeah.
But way more almost like a bullet hell style where there's just a million of them on screen.
Right.
But it did get me the voiceover quote that I've been giggling about all day of 16 randomized balls. And I'm like, I don't care how immature I am. That's a dumb phrase. And their writer did a mean thing to her by making her say that. They know what they were doing. Because she had to say 16 randomized balls, which might also be the episode title. Is that better
more than an Arkanoid 2, The Revenge of Doe. So I don't know. Like most breakout clones have randomized balls, so I don't. It seems like a weak selling argument to me.
I think she means their power up is randomized, as in like what they do. Not just like, the ball's move in a semi-random way. It's like, they're not, sure. But powerful and unexpected synergies of your balls. Thank you. Thank you for this. Thank you for this indie showcase. We've done it. We've gotten there. We've beaten welcome gold shitters right out of the gate. Little Kitty Big City got way too much time for what is just effectively an update.
Sure. It's free, so if you...
Yeah.
That's nice.
It was like, you can have lots of different types of cats, and I'm like, cool, why are we still talking about this?
Was it a popular game?
Yeah, Content Warning, which was a popular game 2 years ago on PC, maybe a year and a half ago, is coming to Switch. The Glacered one that you mentioned was interesting because two of the people were dressed in very hyper traditional Japanese clothes, and then one guy's just there in like a jacket and a shirt. This is a weird video. These developer videos are really weird. So I feel like they're getting weirder too. So there's. I guess the idea is like I should be on here and be twee or be strange and try to get attention that way.
Mm-hmm. It also is quite possible that the third dude was just like, oh yeah, I forgot we're supposed to dress like this.
No, I got the feeling that Kai, the older gentleman in the middle, I get the feeling he dresses like that all the time. Like that is a well-worn overcoat. That coat has seen use. It's so weird. I don't really have anything else that popped out from this one. Like Opus, I can't remember what the subtitle is. Like looked interesting, but again, we only got it visually looked interesting, but we only really got a trailer for it in the sizzle reel. It's some kind of photography-based game. There was like a weird town Sims hybrid thing, Go Town, that is no interest to me, but it looked weird as shit. So yeah, sometimes that's the test. Does this game look really odd? And there were more than a few of those.
So Soren was saying that for these indie directs, like the indie developers can't just call up Nintendo and say like, "Hey, I'm interested in being in the next direct." Like Nintendo calls you, and they're like, "Do you want us to put you in this showcase?" So somehow, I guess like they're all independent from each other, like Japan and North America and Europe. So in the Japanese one, we got to see that Demon School is coming to the Switch in September, and I follow what's his name?
Brandon Sheffield.
Yes, Brandon Sheffield on Blue Sky, and so yeah, I've seen like bits and pieces of this game, and it looks very inspired by Devil Survivor, the DS game, the tactical, Shin Megami Tensei game. So it looks pretty cool, like pretty cool art, and it's just tactics of like kids beating each other up with demons and demon powers. So I don't know why it was not shown for North America. Maybe they the demons didn't fit the vibe that they were going for, but Japan showed it, so.
That's weird. Japan also showed a game about kanji puns that, like, even with the limited following I had, was making me upset. And Sared's like, this game looks amazing. I'm like, this game looks like hell. This game is a constant reminder of the hellscape that learning this language is. Thanks for that. This character means opposite things, depending on context. What's the context? Well, it's valid in both. Have fun. Yay. So yeah, that was... but otherwise, like, that was... their direct was a little bit... or their showcase was a little bit longer, but... it's very cut different to what Guillaume was noting with Seren. Like, they produce it in a very different sort of way. So they don't really have, like, the weird little developers segments and stuff. They're just like, here's a trailer, here's some stuff about it, moving on. I kind of prefer that utilitarian approach to, like, here's your game, and on to the next. But, you know, is what it is. I can always go watch Japanese one if I want. Anything else you want to touch on?
I just, no. Like, I've got no objection to anything that they showed. I just don't know if I'm going to get to any of it at any point. I'm at that...
Go. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm just at this point, like, in the year, I feel like there are too many games coming out. Like, it's not supposed to be this busy during the summer. And so, like, I already feel like I'm just going to miss out on everything.
Well, you know, it's fine. Yeah. It'll still be there. It'll still be there in the future.
Right.
Probably.
I guess there was, like, that racing ultimate, what's the full sheep?
It's
raccoon.
The ultimate chicken horse sequel. So it's like ultimate sheep raccoon. Yeah.
Right. That looks mildly amusing.
Yeah, it's like, did you play ultimate chicken horse?
No.
Okay.
It's not that fun.
I didn't enjoy it, but I get it. It seems like they've applied the concept to a different genre of game, so maybe that'll be more entertaining.
You're playing different animals. You're racing on these little motorcycles, and, like, it's a 2D side-scrolling thing, kind of like Motocross Maniacs on the Game Boy, for a reference that everyone understands. And I don't know. It looks like something I could play with the in-laws.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. It's more of a party game than a racing game, ultimately.
Right.
The Ultimate Chicken Horse was weird because basically it was a platforming game where you took turns laying down traps to disrupt the other players in their attempt to reach the destination, and then they would have to try to climb the platforms. It was novel, but I didn't really enjoy it because essentially you could just make the level unbeatable. And now traps would go away after a certain number of turns, but at that point the level was pretty much impenetrable. And the stuff that was replacing the stuff going away didn't really decrease the impenetrability. So it was just a pain in the ass. But it was fun for laughs more than it was fun for gameplay. So I could see that being the same here.
Right.
But Go-Go Town is the only thing I looked at and went like, I'd find this visually repellent. But I don't know. I'm not really a town builder kind of guy, so maybe that'll really connect. It looked like Little People, like the toy brand, not Little Tykes characters running around on a screen. It's like, okay, this is weird and too clean, but whatever. That wasn't the only news Nintendo put out today, because right as we were going to air, Nintendo announced a new Mario game for Switch and mobile.
Don't be misleading.
I'm not. I did not say a single thing that was not true. But keep in mind, they're going to know this by the time that the episode airs, because it will have happened in the past. Whereas we are in the present, and we are experiencing this news in situ. This was the announcement of the My Mario line, which is a line of products that Nintendo is launching, specifically targeting very, very, very young children. Or the young at heart, like John Lindemann. Old as fuck, but young at heart. or young of mind. Maybe that's the better way of putting it. And when I say very, very, very young children, in the website, which is only available in Japanese right now because the products are launching in Japan, I would say the average age of the children on screen is probably about 2. In many cases, it's younger. It's like still in a crib. It's very small child looking at a book that has like pop-up tabs and stuff of Mario, where like you pull it down and his face extends out like Mario 64, but it's a book, or you can twist him and stuff. It's weird. But this is not a small product line. This is a massive product line. Like I want to be clear, we are talking about a new stop motion Mario themed show that is apparently, or videos that are going to be pasted to YouTube that seem to be conducted using a plush Mario from the toy line related to this thing. The game that I mentioned is essentially just the Mario face stuff from Mario 64, but on tablets and the Switch. But it's a lot more interactive. Like, you know, you can like slap his face and it bounces. You can spin him around. You can do all kinds of stuff to him. Again, it's for toddlers. It's for extremely small children. But at the same time, it does look kind of cute. It does look like actually kind of charming in a goofy sort of way. It's called Face Mario. It's Kao Mario. One thing I like about this this My Mario website is that because it's targeting children, there's a incredibly small amount of kanji, so it's very easy for me to read. Now, the one thing I don't like is that Nintendo, Japanese websites in general do this, but Nintendo is particularly awful about it, is, hey, we have text on our page. What should we put the text in? Should we put it as text? No, we're going to put it as images. Fuck you. You need a screen reader? Learn to see, idiot. You want to use a translator? Not our problem. Yeah, there's a lot of pictures as text. So like I'm trying to drop something in Jisho, which is Japanese for dictionary. If you can't guess what Jisho is, it's a dictionary. Because I'm like, what does that word mean? Oh, I can't copy that because it's a fucking picture. This is a free app, just to be clear. It appears to be very slight, but almost all of the text is images. You fucks. This will be on Apple devices and Switch. It'll be free on August 26th. I don't know. It looks fun, and not like actual fun, but like funny might be the word for it. I mentioned the picture box. There is a line of wooden blocks called Tsumiki. I don't know if that's a brand or if that means something. But the Mario Tsumiki blocks, they come in a big kit. They're about 8 centimeters tall. They look really nice. Like they're like really solid wood blocks that are painted in a really nice, fun, colorful way with like Mario characters on them, or just general building block stuff with like solid colors on them, mushrooms, fire flowers and stuff. And at least one source, you could buy a kit has like a background. You could buy individuals. I'm trying to find someone actually saying this is true. I have seen the suggestion that these are amiibo as well, because fuck it. So these are going to be extremely unavailable. These are going to be monstrously unavailable. They're going on sale at the 3 Nintendo stores in Japan. Some products in the My Mario line will be available outside Japan next year, but right now they're focusing on Japan. You know, a place that has many, many toddlers. So many young children being born in Japan. It is all over the news. They also have a clothing line. They have a bib, again, so John can stop spilling his pre-chewed food on himself. They have shirts. They have hoodies for like, when I say hoodies, I mean for like toddlers, not for adults. These are hoodies that have a flap so your diaper can be changed while you're wearing it, just to make that clear who the target audience is. And I don't mean senior citizens. Yeah, I know, right. I know. I was winding up to that joke. This shit is going to be impossible to get. They have teething rings. They have fucking teething rings. Like, this is for little children. But it's interesting that they've launched this really big product line. They've got some backpacks that are kind of cute, but like, again, they're probably going to be for like kindergartners. We've talked about it. Like, this does feel like Nintendo's tacit acknowledgement of little kids don't play video games on consoles. We need to meet them where they are. And that is getting their millennial parents to buy things based around Mario to give them in childhood, to create positive associations to Mario early on. It's devious. They're going after our children, boys. None of us which have children, but they're going after our children. We all kind of collectively have custody of John. That's close enough. They're targeting our children. Like, all these John jokes would be so nice if he was here. Like, there's so many, but he's never going to hear him because he doesn't listen. He doesn't listen. You could not pay that man $1,000 to listen to this fucking show. Like, he would tell you he did, because that's the kind of guy he is, for the money. But if I said there'll be a quiz at the end, he'll go, no, actually, I didn't watch it. I didn't listen. I didn't listen to the show. This does feel like, hey, we're going to try to reach kids where they are. We're going to try to get them interested in the Mario character, even if they're not necessarily playing Mario games. The interesting thing is these products are coming out of Nintendo. It is not their normal process for merch and stuff like this where they license it out to somebody else. These are Nintendo products developed by Nintendo.
So they're going back to their roots?
Well, I don't even know if they ever made wood blocks. Like, they made plastic blocks. They made
Sure.
NB brick. Bring back NB brick is all I am saying. Yeah, they are listed as the manufacturer of these bricks, of these wooden bricks. In kanji, but still. They are. They are amiibo. It's at the bottom of the page. Character Notsumi Ki. I guess it'd be Ha in this case. Yeah, these are amiibo. That's weird. Like, little kids don't play video games, so we need to reach them where they are. Also, we're going to make their toys amiibo for dad, I guess. Or mom. For both. When they need to get... Greg, what did you ever tap an amiibo for Mr. Amiibo in the... Not to be confused with Dr. Amiibo in Donkey Kong?
I have not. No, not in DK. I didn't get around.
Fuck all. He's like, here's some gold, and I'm like, you asshole. I have 190,000 gold.
What about the actual the new one that they made to tie in with the game? Does that get you anything better? Because there's usually the hierarchy. There's usually a hierarchy of if you scan. Better. If you scan like a random amiibo into Zelda, it gives you like some apples or something. I forget what it was. It's something, and then the more specific ones did probably still nothing that great or whatever. There was the wolf. You could scan the wolf link and you got it as a companion or whatever. There was that. But yeah, I doubt it's even anything that major with DK, right? Because it's just most of the time these days it seems like an acknowledgement that it's probably not a great idea to try and leverage actual functionality terribly much. I mean, there was the whole thing with the sky loft, the loft wing one with the Skyward Sword HD version, where it's like, oh, well, this is actually quite a useful feature. Why are we limiting it to scanning an amiibo? So, yeah, well, in the grand scheme of things, it might be for the best that they don't go overboard with that sort of thing. But yeah, I guess the timing's interesting in terms of with this announcement, because it's about 3 weeks away, right? But right. There's generally an expectation that September, oftentimes you get a major Nintendo Direct in September. If we go back to 5 years ago, I think we had a lot of Mario, at that time, that particular anniversary, the celebration that had the 3D All-Stars and all that kind of contained in it, kind of kicked off, right? So I think especially with the sequel of the Super Mario Brothers animated CG movie coming next year, this is probably like a sort of prelude to a pretty consistent stream of Mario stuff, but I'd like to probably across everything they've got, right? You're trying to get to younger players, without just relying on their dedicated hardware, right? That's, definitely going to be part of it. But, it's going to be all ages, everything they've got, try and just hype up Mario stuff. Goodness me, we might even get Super Mario Sunshine on the GameCube Classic, so I know how much you've been looking forward to that, James.
Why would they put that on a classics list?
Well,
I didn't realize. Yeah. Is there a GameCube mistakes section I'm unaware of?
Is that, well, I mean, we've got the mature section for Nintendo 64, so I guess we can't quite rule it out altogether.
Garbage. The Super Mario Sunshine section, where there's 40% of this is a good game, 20% of this is meh, the rest is infuriating pain. Have fun.
I mean, it would be a complete fumble if they don't have Luigi's Mansion for October, right? Like, that has to happen. Right?
That is such a... If they could do it, Eternal Darkness would be even better.
But,
or both. But
yeah,
can't.
Sure, yeah, why not? I mean, to be fair, GameCube weirdly had a lot of, like, horror-themed stuff. Like,
because Nintendo was very intent on proving they're mature.
Well, yes, exactly. That was definitely part of it. Was they were trying to combat some of these narratives that were around in the N64 era. Even though, to be fair, like they kind of were quite with the whole Dream Team initiative and all that, like stuff like Turok, which was very bloody, and had all sorts of unpleasantness in it for its day, relatively. Homages to horror films like the Cerebral Bore Phantasm thing. Those were kind of games that were prominent on N64, but especially for their own stuff and, what Rare was doing and all that, they had that kind of reputation. So Eternal Darkness, the Resident Evil games, there was actually quite a lot of stuff there. But Luigi's Mansion's got to happen then. Does Mario Sunshine have to come out this summer? It's up to again. That they've pledged to do it, so it'd be a shock if it didn't come out this summer, to be honest. And I guess they've updated the 3D All Stars to be compatible with Switch 2 more so, which I guess it's odd to update a delisted game on one hand, but on the other hand, like they did sell quite a lot of them.
They
right?
did.
It was like
very
10
successful.
million.
Yeah.
It was like 10 million or something, so it's kind of crappy just because you have delisted it because you wanted to try out this like super artificial scarcity tactic that surrounding the anniversary for Mario 5 years ago. That like, we've got to. We can never support it again, so it's kind of nice that they did that at least for people to try it out on Switch 2. But I guess it does kind of make the need for Mario Sunshine on the GameCube app even less. But yeah, I'm assuming we're going to be seeing an awful lot of Mario stuff from September onwards, and this is just the beginning.
Yeah, the tap is open, and we're just going to have. It is it almost makes the fact that they made a Donkey Kong game instead. Like, I'm glad they did. I'm really glad they did. I feel like it probably helps their creative juices. But the fact that, as of this moment, there is no announced Mario game in the pipeline except for one where you slap his face, is weird. It's very weird. Is there even like there's the update to Mario Party.
And Mario Kart, of course. I mean, it's, it is the current packing game.
Yeah. You're right. You're right.
Thing is about Mario Kart, I mean, it's almost something unto itself. Like, it is so ridiculously bloody successful. It is so ridiculously successful, and obviously, gameplay-wise, it's quite separate from that. Although, I guess you could say, with Mario Kart World, the kind of emphasis on exploration and the sort of like quasi-platforming of the tricks and stuff is like more Mario than it's been before the other series. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of its own thing, but... It was a little bit weird when the first CG Mario movie came out, and you didn't really have like a big Mario title to coincide with it. So really directly. I mean, Super Mario Brothers Wonder followed afterwards. Quite a few months afterwards. But I guess in the grand scheme of things, not like that long. But yeah, you kind of feel like you'd want to. kind of have it even more sort of synergy going. Although, I mean, DK was apparent. I still haven't seen it, by the way. The first CG Mario movie. DK was a big part of that, right? So, like, I assume he's going to be a big part of the sequel as well, and maybe they've eyed it up for its own spin-off, and we could, maybe Donkey Kong will get the fucking Knuckles spin-off series stream.
God,
is speaking of the 10 years thing. Imagine us saying that 10 years ago. The Knuckles original series or whatever.
Jesus Christ! I mean, the thing is, like, I thought Donkey Kong sucked in that movie. Like, I thought Seth Rogen's depiction of him, whatever. Like, it's not his fault. It's just how the character is written. He's way too conversational. Donkey Kong shouldn't talk. He shouldn't talk. He just fucking shouldn't talk. And like, they basically just did fucking Donkey Kong from that god awful cartoon. It's not margin. It's the difference is largely on the margins and in terms of the quality of the people working on it, which is to say the people who worked on the original Donkey Kong cartoon, at least before they brought in a different team to rewrite it because of the horrible racism. Those people were bad. They were bad at their job. They were bad creatives. They were bad artists. Everyone involved in that product did a bad job and should feel ashamed. Seth Rogen's Donkey Kong isn't that much better. It's more expensive. It's a more expensive Donkey Kong, but it's not better. I found that the why am I blanking on the name of the game now? Bananza. The Bananza Donkey Kong actually has more is almost as like Luigi in Luigi's Mansion 3. Has a ton of character. Is just oozing it, and in a way.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of parallels with Luigi's Mansion in general, isn't there? Like, you think of, like, it's kind of like the big launch title, but it's not Mario, but it's kind of Mario adjacent, and there's a lot of emphasis on the characters, like, expressions and emoting, and also a lot of emphasis on the kind of not just the game, the specific objectives, but that kind of outright play element, right? That's not even pursuant to an objective. It's like with Luigi's Mansion, it'd be like, oh look, every object kind of reacts to the vacuum, and all the different things that interactions with the environment that means, and some of those are important to actually catching ghosts and solving some of the kind of limited puzzles in the game. A lot of it is just seeing what happens, maybe find some extra gold or whatever. And it is very similar with DK, of just like the way you can bash everything or like throw bits of materials together and all this kind of stuff. It may or may not be that relevant at any given moment to achieving a particular thing, but it's like they clearly think the new hardware and their greater ability to have this expressive character that can interact with this world like more robustly than they could do in the past is something appealing in itself, right? Like that seems to be part of what they think it probably, mostly for even more so for younger players, that is an attractive kind of quality. But obviously DK Bananza is a lot more fleshed out and fully sort of designed as an experience than that original Luigi's Mansion was. Luigi's Mansion 3, having had the time to iterate on it and even better technology, is kind of closer to like fulfilling all the potential of that.
And just how those characters are like amped up versions of the attributes we know about them in Bananza or in 3. Really does a nice job of showing who that character, but before that character was more or less just a foil to Mario in both cases. Giving that, taking the characteristics we do have and really blowing them out and turning them into a full character. Like, I feel, without getting too far into Bananza, the DK Pauline interactions are actually really good for his character in terms of like giving him some depth. in a way that the Mario movie, no character has depth. No character has anything.
Well, and also in a way that doesn't require that he talk.
Right.
You know, because I guess first of all, it's not really Nintendo's thing. They gotta like the protagonist to be quiet. I think, and then even in games that are more narratively involved than any of their platformers. But also, I guess, like, if you don't want to get into the whole, like, it's a different, you know, you'd have to cast somebody other than Seth Rogen for the voice and, you know, all that kind of thing. Like, it's better that he doesn't talk, and then, Pauline can do the talking, but still provide characterization for DK as well as for Pauline herself.
Right. And they obviate his need for reaction by, one, giving him a very cartoonish sounds that he can make that are usually pretty clear what his intention is, even if they're not sort of like pantomiming a noise. Like sometimes he makes a noise that's very clearly like a word, gutturally said. But most of the time, it's just like you can kind of figure it out from the context and the sound. And then they give him big, cartoonish, bold reactions. Even there's a scene where or a level where there's constantly music playing, and I won't get into detail on anything beyond that. And the idle animation in the room with the music source is different for them. They just start dancing.
The dance anime is pretty funny, yeah.
And his dance is so awkward and goofy and big swingy limbs. And
that's the thing. His arms are so massive, aren't they? That it's very, it's very obvious. You know, it's not subtle.
And her dance is very like tight and clean. Like she knows what she's doing. He's got big swinging arms and he just looks goofy. The DK movie, I mean, if they do a DK spinoff, even if they do a second movie, they need to throw away everything they did with the DK character and replace it with the stuff from this. Because this is so, I think he even looks better. I think the DK in the DK movie looks like shit. And I think honestly, the rare design for DK is old, and what they've replaced it with is significantly superior in pretty much every respect.
Oh, well, certainly when for this game in particular, you know, the fact that you're leveraging the expressiveness of the character, the old design just kind of boxed you in a bit, you know, that's the thing. Whereas this one, it feels right, you know what I mean? It feels like it fits the game they made here. Now, obviously, you know, subsequent games or media or whatever, who knows exactly how they're going to sort of use it, but it just seems like they've kind of committed to it, and I guess the movie was kind of based on that internal redesign that they'd already made, I would guess, and you know, I don't know whether, and even all the other characters were somewhat redesigned from, you know, the kind of Nintendo style guide, again, because it's horses for courses, isn't it? You know, with a 3D, CG animated movie, it's about how you want the characters to emote in that venue, right? When they do have the ability to speak, you know, there's dialogue there, but also, you know, it's got to be big cartoonish animations and facial expressions and all this kind of stuff. And you've got all, you know, vastly more resources than a video game's ever going to have. So I understand why, you know, it's going to be kind of somewhat bespoke, you know, it's tweaked for that purpose. But yeah, maybe it'll be even tweaked a little bit more again for the second one, but it could be a prisoner of its own success, couldn't it? Because we can't forget that first CG Mario movie, whatever anybody thought of it artistically, was commercially a preposterously successful endeavour. And you do wonder whether it's kind of like, okay, yeah, let's just run it back. You know, that idea will kind of take on, and that might not work, is the reality of it. Sometimes, you know, you can think to yourself, well, people liked it, right? Made all this money, and then we just did pretty much, you know, a very direct continuation of that. Well, why didn't that work? And it's like, well, what can I tell you? That's just the movie business.
Yeah, like there's no benefit to making a good movie if you can make a bad one and get the same amount of attendance for cheaper. That's the nature of film. I can make this movie worse and save $10 million and not really lose out on any sales they're going to make the worst movie. They're going to make the worst movie 100 times out of 100. Speaking of which, I need to go watch Netflix's War of the Worlds. Apparently it's fucking terrible. I'm so excited. I'm so fucking excited. It had a 0 on Rotten Tomatoes, which is amazing. Amazing. Why? Because they went cheap and they filmed most of it. Most of it's like video of screens of things happening. Oh, it's up to 4%. Fuck. Some asshole gave it a positive review.
That's the probably attracting all these people who are watching it, wanting it to, expecting it to be bad and wanting it to be bad, and it's like, yeah, it was bad. A thumbs up.
Oh, excuse me. It's Prime Video, not Netflix.
Right. Is there like, the whole fan footage thing with Blair Witch? Is there a term like that for the video chat movie?
Yeah, there was a movie that came out. I'm blanking. The first one that did that. I'm blanking on what it was called. But I remember people watching it and going, "Dear God, I hope this isn't the future of films." There
was like a horror movie.
Yeah, it was a horror movie.
Yeah, which, naturally enough, Blair Witch was a horror movie, and it's sort of like a spiritual successor to that whole genre. But yeah, I've forgotten what it was called as well.
Why only half a star? Because 0 does not exist. I have never seen anything this bad. It would have to have a plot to have holes. What a review. What a fucking beautiful. I just round of applause. Round of applause. I'm so excited. Entertainment Weekly magazine for the critically brain dead is the one who gave it a positive review. Good job, Jordan Hoffman, you idiot. It's certainly stupid, but it's also a great deal of fun. No. I like that you can't give it, in Rotten Tomatoes, viewers can't give it 0 stars because it doesn't think you've clicked the stars yet.
Were we thinking of Searching, the movie?
That might be it. That might be it.
And it had a sequel of sorts too, not with the same characters, but produced by John Cho.
Oh, that was like 2018 though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was one before that. That was, that's what I'm thinking of. Missing is one that came out last year, I think. That's also just fucking
off. That's the sequel.
Okay, yeah, I know that's pretty bad. I remember I watched one of the very early one of these, and went, holy shit, this is bad. It was Elijah Wood. What's it called? Open Windows. That's it. Yes. Holy crap. Yeah. That's a bad movie. It's, yeah. Elijah Wood, who, did he get an Academy nomination for Lord of the Rings work? He must have. Everybody did.
I don't know. I mean, McKellen got one for Gandalf, as you would expect. That I'm quite confident of. Anybody else in the cast, I'm not so sure, because they kind of split the vote a bit, and the gravitas of McKellen, you can kind of see why they'd stick to him, kind of thing.
Unfriended. That was the other one I was thinking of.
Right, yeah. That came out the same year. I'm looking at the trailer right now.
Yeah, I was like thinking of what was it? I was like, okay, who's in it? Who's in it that I remember? No one, because no one in that movie was a star. Fuck. Yeah, that's a... God, if we were still doing RFN movies, that might be the one I forced y'all to do. Because I've seen it. It's trash. Like, it's... I've talked about this. I have, with the movie group, watched literally some of the worst movies ever made. Movies that most people have never heard of. Movies that, like, when reviewers who review movies professionally, have seen thousands upon thousands of movies, are like, wow, this is the worst one. Like, when Roger Ebert was like, oh, I found it. This is the worst movie ever made. You think about how many movies that man has said. He's not saying this gently. He's not saying this flippantly. He fucking means it. And we're like, let's go watch that. Oh, this isn't even as bad as the movie we watched last week. Roger, you need to broaden your horizons. We thought Unfriended was fucking unwatchable. It's terrible. It's just awful. It's beautiful. What a fucking terror. Like, the Elijah Wood one is bad. This is worse. And that's saying a lot, but Yeah, like just open windows. If Mr. Wood got any acting noms for the Lord of the Rings stuff, they should have been retroactively taken back. It's like, we are unnominating you for this award. Well, I didn't win it. I don't care. We're just making it clear you are no longer a nominee. But Unfriended is fucking garbage. Oh, it's on Google Play for $3.79 per watch. Fuck. It got a sequel? What? Unfriended Dark Web. Are you fucking kidding me? Holy shit. All right, well.
I do wonder, did anybody at the time say finally something that makes social media seem scary?
Oh. Yeah. Yep. No, they're right. God. All right. I'm gonna take a break here. When we come back, I'll have watched Unfriended Dark Web, and I'll give my review. So
like several, like a full sequel and also several little short things, I guess, probably online.
Great. So
after the second sequel, so this is a thriving series.
God damn it. If I don't off myself in the interim while I'm trying to watch this fucking piece of shit, I'll see you on the other side of the break. Stay tuned. We have returned. So yes, we did not end up watching any movies in the interim. We just talked about Highlander 2: The Quickening for a while, and how it is a great movie you should go watch, especially if you're a fan of the first Highlander. I think you'll really appreciate what they did with the characters and the plot. It makes Tears of the Kingdom Breath of the Wild feel like a bad sequel. I'm just gonna put that out there, and you can figure it out what I mean by that after you watch it.
Enriches, I think, is the word that comes to mind.
Yeah, that's a good word for it. Like I feel like I'm better off after I have experienced the Quickening personally. Better off in what way?
Maybe Tears of the Kingdom is actually a good comparison, because of the way that these Tears of the Kingdom and the Quickening kind of completely ignore what happened in the first game/movie.
We were making a That's the Joke earlier during the break.
I was only paying half attention. I was busy reading up on Universal Soldier, Day of Reckoning, and Regeneration.
God. Every generation needs its own Universal Soldier franchise. I understand. Mm-hmm. I need you to just put that down, because I have an important mission for you, Guillaume, and that is to give us your new business.
Yeah, so wanting to take a break a little bit from Mario Kart, so I downloaded this game called Pampas and Selene, and that's the title, but according to, it depends on where you look. It looks like it might have a subtitle, The Maze of
Demons.
Yeah, but that doesn't seem to be officially part of the title according to the eShop page. So I don't know what's going on there.
But it does on Steam.
Yeah. So it's this game by the developer of games that hold absolutely no appeal for me. Unepic, and then Unmetal. It's an indie developer, mostly, one guy working on these games. If it had been called Pampas, I probably would have skipped it. I don't know.
Pampas? Fuck. Let's do it.
I don't know. But so I didn't know about this pedigree, but I did hear this is a side-scrolling kind of Metroidvania where it's supposedly MSX inspired in some way. I don't know if it's the type of games or the graphics. I would have said it's clearly going for an 8-bit vibe.
It's based on the Mask of A Maze of Goliath, I think is what it's called, which I believe is an MSX game.
The Mask of a Maze of what?
The maze. Excuse me. The maze.
Maze of
Gallius.
right?
Yeah,
that's how I've heard it pronounced, but elsewhere, I don't know if that's correct at all. But
I was trying to remember its name and just fumbled for a while. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can see. Yeah, I see the inspiration just looking at the screens here. That's
a Konami game from the 80s.
Yeah. So it's inspired by the Maze of Gallius by Konami from 1987, but of course it's made today, so it's modern and it's probably a lot less frustrating. But the main appeal for me for this game, I'm not saying that right. Anyway, is that this can be played simultaneous co-op. So when you play in co-op, couch co-op, the screen divides in two, and so it's split screen and left and right. Like you each control, you each see your screen of the action, and you have your own little map, and you can control your own menu and everything. So it's simultaneous co-op, and you can both split up and go and search your own little corner of the labyrinth. And then if the other person needs help with like a place that they can't cross or a boss that they can't vanquish, then you can just hold the ZL button and you just warp directly to them and you help them, and then you try to make your way back to wherever you were exploring. But so that is pretty cool. Like if you're playing single player, you can switch between the two main characters. They're brother and sisters. The one is a mage and she shoots lightning and she doesn't have a great rate of fire. But eventually, you upgrade that. She gets a longer arc, so that's pretty useful. She can, hit a little bit faster eventually. And also, she's got a fireball that's probably the most powerful, like the most damaging attack in the game. And the other character, her brother, is a knight. So, you've got a sword. So it's very much, you've got a short range, but you can swing fast enough. Like usually most of the enemies will be stunned when you hit them. So you can just like swing, and then like the enemy is dead. So that's extremely, probably like he's the best choice for most of the enemy encounters. But sometimes like when the game is at its best, like you have to really like switch between the two. Like there'll be one of them will be more appropriate than the other, more apt to face like certain monsters than the other. When you're playing two players, then like maybe like you have the choice to try and go through each screen together. But I think that the games that's most fun when you just like, okay, well, I'm gonna go west, you go east, and I'll see you if I see you, and just holler if you need some help. The Metroidvania aspect is not super developed. Like there's a lot of there are a lot of areas of the maze that are not going to be reachable initially, but it's not necessarily because you're lacking the mobility item or the thing that's going to allow you to destroy certain walls or anything like that. Like there's a lot of like you need to do kind of a quest for one of the gods in the game, and then like they give you the item. Like it might be like go defeat these enemies with this weapon that you just got, and then like okay, well now I give you the upgrade that you need to go reach this dungeon in the game. There are 10, and so and then like that's kind of how the progression is gated. Like right. you have like these different Greek gods, Aphrodite or Athena, whoever, and they'll have a quest for you. You do it, and then it's like okay, well now you have the item to stop the wind that was like blowing, that was preventing you from being able to reach this or that dungeon. Still, like it's It's very well done, and there are certain mobility items that you do get that unlock different places for you to explore. The knight is the one who gets the double jump. The sorceress, she eventually gets a kind of a forward dash that goes through certain obstacles, but mostly like initially she's also good because she can hold her breath longer underwater, whereas the knight will die very quickly if you try to go into water with him. So yeah, so there are some areas where you will have to let your partner, if you're playing co-op, get through the underwater part, and then maybe once she's past that part, you just warp to her, and you hope that you'll be able to be helpful for the rest of that section of the game. And I would say that like all of the bosses could be fought with both of the pairs, but not all sections of every dungeon were equally kind of friendly for the co-op players. Like some dungeons were really like, okay, I better do this one alone because you're not being very helpful and you're just putting yourself at risk here. Anyway, like I don't know if I'm doing a very good job selling the game, but I will say that both Karen and I were super into this. Like it was immediately appealing, immediately fun. It's a very simple game, like there's basically 2 buttons for the most part, 3 buttons really. Like there's like your main attack, the jump, and the special attack. There are a ton of items to find. I didn't count them, but there's at least like 3 rows of probably 10 items. So like those are the main items that do something for both of you. But you've also got like 9 items that are character specific that give you the double jump, for instance. So there are a ton of secrets. The game has, kind of classic, I don't know, 8-bit controls, I suppose. Like, so it's approachable. It's very fun. I will say, when I talked about getting a Gamepad Pro, I said like, well, I haven't really had time to test it. I don't know if the D-pad is as bad as people say. I tried playing Tetris with it, and it seemed fine. Well, playing this game made me realize the D-pad is as bad as people say, because as the knight, you can press down and use your shield to reflect certain projectiles, and as soon as I tried to press down, like my character would just pivot and turn the other way. Not very good. That's not how you use a shield. So like that was that was kind of a sad realization that like the D-pad is really deficient on the Gamepad Pro. Once you know that though, like you try to press diagonally and like mostly it's fine, but mostly as a result, like I didn't use the shield too many times. It was just too risky. What else did I want to say about this? I guess, I don't know. Like, it was just this charming little game. Like, we blew through it, even though the screen at the end said, like, oh yeah, you've played this for 83 hours. It's like, I don't think you're counting these hours right, game.
Was it possibly counting 2 hours if you were playing together?
No, it was, no, it didn't take us 40 hours. God, no. Like, it was probably more like 8 to 10 hours. So it was counting, I guess, like, times when it was in between games, I suppose. 80 hours, that's what... Yeah, like we played this in probably less than a week, so it tracks. I don't know, like I highly recommend it already. Like, I talked about it on Blue Sky. Someone was like, oh, okay, I'm interested. I need the, games to play with my son. And then like they checked it out, loved it immediately. They finished it before Karen and I did, and nice. They asked like, "Is there anything else like this that you recommend?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I don't think so. This is kind of a rare thing. This kind of 2D side-scrolling exploration game that you can play co-op, couch co-op. Like, I can't think of anything like this. Like, and that kind of like in their message, they said like, and it is key that we be able to explore each on our own, wander off and not just stay together. And like, I don't know, like outside of something like Diablo 3, I'm not sure if there's anything quite like this. I was thinking maybe, I don't know, like I don't suppose you've tried to play Fantasy Life, The Girl Who Steals Time co-op at all?
No, I don't have anybody to play it with.
Right.
I mean, I know I could play it online, but I get the gist of how it works, though.
Right. It does have game share, though. You could hand your old Switch to your girlfriend.
But I live by myself.
Right.
I could game share it to myself and try to do it on two different game Switches
I think
at the same
it's got
time.
online game share. Does online game share do what it sounds like it should be doing?
I thought online game share was just a video sharing thing. I don't know that there's online game share as in like
as I understand it, there are certain games I think where they say it's game share via game chat, isn't it? That's what they say. So I think it must be possible in certain limited circumstances anyway. But I think some of the games that were updated for Switch 2, Switch games that had patches, stuff like Clubhouse games, the sort of the DS game that got kind of brought back on Switch a few years ago and things like that. Like I think you could do it for stuff like that, but then stuff that was more kind of actiony, if you like, notably I think like New Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe or ARMS, like they had updates for Switch 2, but were not. You can't do game share for those. I think it's kind of limited to maybe the kind of the more co-op kind of the kind of asymmetric co-op things like Super Mario Odyssey. Like you can do a game share for that for like being Cappy, for instance. So yeah, I'm not so sure about about 3D World, because I think it definitely can do it for Bowser's Fury, but I wonder if you could do it for 3D World as well, because that's a bit more. You'd think you'd need. I mean, he's already had online multiplayer, the Switch version anyway, so I don't know how different game share via game chat is. But yeah, I haven't tried that yet myself.
Right.
And I can't say.
I'm looking at the Fantasy Life eShop page, and it does not mention game share. I guess I hallucinated it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a pretty complicated game to run game share with.
Right. Oh, that's too bad. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, like maybe I'll have to buy 2 copies and Karen and I can play or something. I don't know.
There you go.
But although she'd have to play the Switch version, that doesn't sound fun at all. So, yeah, I don't know. But Pampas and Selene, just Maze of Demons. I don't know if that will help with the SEO. But great. Highly recommended if you're looking for kind of old school experience, Metroidvania co-op. It's great. Just loved it. Now we're back to playing boring old Mario Kart World.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
No, that was it.
Yeah. So Greg and I are gonna pass on our new business this week. We've both been getting our Donkey Kong saves up to 100%. I think we both accomplished this objective. We're gonna next week. It's just gonna be the two of us. So we're actually, as of right now, because things change, our plan is to do double spoiler cast. What does that mean? We have Xenoblade Chronicle Definitive Edition and that weird shit to do a spoiler cast on, because that ending.
Yeah, it's been fermenting for months, that one. Obviously, yeah. James got there just a little bit faster than me. For me, it was a decent pace.
Yeah.
With a game of that enormity. So yeah, that's going to be a little bit less fresh than DK, but I think we could still pull it off.
I'll go back and review my notes on that game just so I remember it all. But yeah, we're gonna do that and DK Bananza, because we both now have 100% of that game, which is really good. But like, those are anything goes style spoiler casts, and since I'm editing it, I don't have to worry about exposing Guillaume to that. It's just the two of us gonna jam through some hardcore spoiler information.
I guess, yeah, if anybody has played either of those to absolute exhaustion and wants to share something in time, it's not going to be very many days. But, if you're listening really close, maybe you could get a quick comment in via the email and we could use it.
Do call out that it is a spoiler email in the heading, because these guys haven't played either of those games, and there's a good chance that they will play at least one of them at some point. John will never play Xenoblade X. There's no risk of that. You can write the email subject, John, read this email, and one, he won't read it.
Especially considering, obviously, the Xenoblade X, I think it's fair to say, we'll touch on the entirety of it, but it's going to focus, the spoilery part is going to focus on the new content.
We did a spoiler cast on Xenoblade X that John was a very active participant in, because he played a shitload of that game at the same time I was playing it.
That was relatively early in this decade that we're marking this week.
God damn it!
Even though it should have been next week, but still,
it's fine. It's fine. It's in the middle anyway. We're
going to be busy with if we can follow through on double spoiler cast. We'll be busy with that next week anyway. So yeah.
And I'll dig out the spoiler cast episode for that and link them when we get to it. So anyway, we're gonna pass on our new business this week. And without John, you can do your new business? Yeah, nobody wants to hear you talk about that. Okay, all right, cool. He's going to pass. So we're going to go to email. Emails, rfn@nintendoworldreport.com. That's rfn@nintendoworldreport.com. John, what is that email address? Come on, you hear me say it. You've heard me say it every week for a decade. What's the email? Oh, not you. You've heard me say it every other week for a decade. All right, well, he doesn't remember that either. So it's rfn@nintendoworldreport.com. The silence is deafening, Mr. Lindemann. But this email comes from Tokyo Massage Sessions. I didn't name them. They picked this name for themselves. You can judge them, not me. Dearest Radio Foxtrot Nintendo. Again, John is not here when he's being made fun of. Consider that I, a listener since my early high school days, am writing to you all on the subject of naming my children. Line break to let that sink in. Thanks. Now, naming your child after a video game character or anything of that sort is obviously cringe and sucky, unless the first name is really good, which brings me to my dilemma and question. I've narrowed down my selection to two names that are obviously great and amazing. Edge Maverick and Razor Callahan. Which of these two, if either, should I try to talk the wife into allowing on our offspring's birth certificate? What would you name your own spawn in a scenario where you have to pick a video game adjacent name? With love. God, Edge Maverick is really good. Edge Maverick is really
There's something about that, because I was listening to a Retronauts podcast about the Back to the Future Telltale game, and I feel like it's perilously close to that, because there's basically, in the third Back to the Future, when he's in the Old West, he goes by Mr. Eastwood, right? He's Clint Eastwood, that's what he comes up with. And then they have a similar scenario in the Telltale game, and he's like one of the sort of names you get to choose which alias he goes by, and I think one of them is Callahan because it's Dirty Harry. It's another Clint Eastwood joke,
right?
And then maybe one of the other ones is like a Top Gun reference or something. So it's like I just the coincidence here feels pretty strong.
So Razor, go ahead.
Oh, okay, what was Maverick? How do you pronounce that? Maverick.
Yeah.
Maverick. Like what? Was that based on an old TV show, like the movie with?
You got the Western part of it as well, haven't you? Yeah, I was thinking about Maverick from Top Gun, but
I mean, Edge Maverick is explicitly the name of a Star Ocean character. Like that is their full ass name. Like both of these characters are the full. Razor Callahan is from a Need for Speed game. His actual name is Clarence, and he goes by Razor. I mean, Clarence is the go-to here. Like, if you can name your child Clarence Callahan, they will never get bullied in school. Never, ever.
Oh, is it the real upper tier choice that they refuse to give you in the Back to the Future Telltale game that you absolutely should have gone with as a Clint Eastwood reference is McGonagall or whatever from The Simpsons, which is like nowhere near as like well-travelled as McBain. but it did exist. It was their Harry Callahan parody. So I think they have, and that again, phonetically, exquisitely beautiful sounding name, isn't it? So why not McGonagall?
I'm trying to think what would be another really dumb, stupid name that would be, perfect for your child.
I don't know if he's open to new suggestions, though. I think that we're supposed to weigh in on the...
It's binary, yeah.
Well, no.
What are we dooming this kid? What future are we imposing on this person?
The second part of the email says, if we were doing this exercise, what name is too good that we would have to give to our children? And it's not going to be pizza pasta. I'm sure somebody right now is screaming, James is going to say pizza pasta.
Is it one of these survival horror games where, like, is it one of the ones where it's blatantly just Jennifer Connelly from Phenomena?
Yeah,
but she's called, but one of them, I don't think it is. There's one though where the main character's called Jessifer.
Jessifer
instead of Jennifer. I mean, again, that.
Jesus.
No possibility of being shamed and ridiculed with that name.
4x4 Evolution apparently has a name called Jessifer Manning. What? Jesus Christ. I don't think that's it. I'm upset. I'm upset about all that.
It looks like Jessifer is like a couple name. Like I tried looking it up, and I'm seeing pictures of, Fox, red carpet shit. I don't know.
They didn't think about that, did they? They didn't think about the SEI ramifications.
Jessifer Manning in Carrier. I don't even know what Carrier is. What the fuck? What is that?
This is half remembered from the Retronauts episode about survival horror games from 2007, maybe. I mean, this is old memories.
I'm going to read you a couple nouns, proper nouns, and you can tell me how bad it makes you feel. Like I'll give you a noun, you tell me if it makes you feel better or worse about the quality of this game. It's a survival horror game. All right, Dreamcast, better or worse than before all you knew was survival horror?
I'll give it the thumbs up.
All right. Came out 2000, so mid to late Dreamcast. Or in the case of Europe, a year and a half later than the US.
God, I'm amazed he even bothered at that stage.
July 5th, 2021 versus January 31st, 2000. Came out after the GameCube. All right, it's called Carrier. I'm gonna go ahead and guess that's probably not a positive for you. 3D tank controls, and then here's the real one.
I mean, the Dreamcast didn't have the second stick, did it? So no. I guess it's it wasn't that much of an anachronism on the Dreamcast.
Yeah, it still felt bad. But here's the one that I really think will give you the thumbs up feeling. Published by Jalico. I didn't even know Jalico was still alive to make...
Yeah, still actually publishes stuff on the Dreamcast in the 21st century. All of that seems a bit odd, speaking of anachronisms.
Everybody else has more or less normal names. Jack Ingalls, Aaron Burke, Robert Ingalls, William Noble, Nicholas Lang, Sandra Cates, Jessifer Manning. What the fuck?
There you go. See, there's still life in the old memory. Just about, yeah. Jessifer was the thing. So, yeah, form an orderly queue. People who wish to have children named Jessifer.
I can't believe Jessifer Manning. That was a typo, right? Somebody fucking typoed and they just went with it. Well, they must know what they're doing. Jessifer it is. I mean, there's a lot of opportunities in Punch Out. Those are easy. Those are no problem. Those are no problem. Fighting games is probably where the real shit lives. I mean, it's true that anything made by Goichi Suda has potential to have just absolute dumb bullshittery in the naming convention as well. But if he made a fighting game, holy fuck, we would be in so much trouble. It would be so bad. Actually, I want to say there's a No More Heroes character called Henry Cooldown. That's in there.
What are the names of the Fire Pro Wrestling characters?
Oh,
because,
yeah.
he was involved in that, right?
Those are all just like butchered names of actual wrestlers so they didn't get sued.
Sure.
Mind you, I mean, Kojima's had some corkers over the years. It's something really risible from Metal Gear Solid 2 that I'm forgetting.
Everyone is really risible.
Oh yeah, but this one that's really bad, and I just can't quite get it.
I mean, Zone of the Ender's main character is named as Dingo Egret, so like
it's something really silly, like bloody Hot Coldman or something. It's so silly. I can't even quite. It's like my brain doesn't want to accept that could possibly be the right answer.
His name is Hot Coldman. Yes.
Yeah, it is that stupid. Yeah.
His first name is Hot. His last name is Coldman. I mean, there's another character named Jungle Evil. Like it's all ridiculous. All right. So let's answer the question here for
the binary part.
The binary. Yeah. But we'll name our children next. All right, so let's think about it. Edge Maverick, I immediately start thinking about, is this someone that Mega Man X is going to have to kill? And I feel like the X's team, the Maverick Hunters, are such fucking failures. Like, they fail constantly. They are ridiculously fucked up bad. That might not be a bad starting point in life, being like, all right, I just got to worry about X, maybe, possibly. Whereas Razor Callahan, I feel like that's a character, like that reads more like a character from an Adam Sandler movie. It's Razor Callahan. He's going to play golf in fucking Happy Gilmore 2. Which is another movie that's getting excellent reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. You should go check it out. Holy
it does
shit.
kind of say, when is a sort of like running joke in the Shield about one of the characters. They're all like corrupt coppers. That like keeps like a storage locker of like dodgy stuff under the name like Van Damme. And then, like, the next time he has to set one up, it's under the name of Lundgren or something,
Oh, God.
You can see why my head ended up going to this place. But, like, that Razor Callahan, it seems like that, it's that kind of character that would do, it would say, it's like an alias for someone who grew up with Clint rather than with the 90s, 80s, guys, the Slys and the Van Dams and the Schwarzeneggers. I believe the proper order of that is Schwarzenegger, Stallone, and to a lesser extent the Van Dams. That's what Bart says.
Wow.
Trying to tell Milhouse that he should be Fallout Boy in the Radioactive Man episode.
Oh, I forgot about that. That's a good one. Razor Callahan just feels too golf to me, and I don't know why golf is what's popping into my head for that, but like. I guess it's too close to Shooter, which is another similar name. So like, that just
Shooter McGavin.
Edge Maverick. It just feels right. Tell your wife that random voices on the internet told you that Edge Maverick just feels right. Like, you might be able to just tell the person who's writing down the name when your wife's distracted by, she might be busy at that time. And just, maybe you can just do it. Like, you could just do, what are they going to do? Change the paper? No, she'll get used to it. You miss 100% of the kids you don't name. So, shoot your shot. This is definitely one of the episodes where, like, I'm really glad my girlfriend only listens to, like, 1 out of 5 episodes. I'm throwing the dice on this one. What do y'all think? Which one are y'all going with? I know he gave us the option of saying don't do this. I know he gave us.
Well, yeah, that's kind of the obvious answer, isn't it? But I guess we have to make it interesting. We have to not just leave it at that. But I guess the thing to consider is what's going to end up being not even necessarily the preferred, but just, and this could be hard to predict, but what will end up being the common abbreviation of these names.
That's true.
Because no one's going to say all of it. It's too polysyllabic for that. So, and then you're going to think about, okay, well, yeah, there's the name you actually give, and then there's what people's going to end up getting called.
Right.
And you're going to think about that. And what out of these two has got the most agreeable, natural abbreviation?
I mean, Razor is probably the easier of the two. Well, because it's 2 syllables. That's manageable. Edge isn't really much to go with. That's 1 syllable. Mav.
It's also the worst character in Final Fantasy IV.
That's true. I think Mav is right there.
Do you have an opinion on where the Edge stands in the pantheon of U2 members as well? Yeah.
It's better than fucking
The last time
Bono.
I thought about him was, I don't know, when he did the Mission Impossible theme for the first Mission Impossible movie. I don't really have an opinion.
Was it GoldenEye? I thought unless he did both. I remember
it was Mission Impossible.
Tina
Turner was
Tina Turner was GoldenEye, and it was Bono and written by Bono and the Edge, I believe, is how it is on the credits. We did this.
Really?
We did the movie. It was. When did we do GoldenEye for the Patreon? It was probably about
a while
6 years ago or something. But I feel like I remember seeing that credit.
I would say, and the other reason I think Guillaume has to be wrong is I do not believe there was a first Mission Impossible movie. I believe they have always existed and have been in the act of being created since time immemorial.
I saw the first Mission Impossible movie in the cinema. For the record, it's the one and only one I did see in the cinema. I did not see GoldenEye in this one. That was VHS.
There's been 42 since then.
It's true. It's kind of crazy to think about how many there have been.
Yeah,
there's still that through line there.
I'm starting to question how impossible these missions actually are. Starting to become not believable. I'm willing to suspend disbelief for a while. I think we might have hit our natural limit. I think you're right about the nickname. I think if you could shorten Maverick to just Mav, and I think that's probably fine. I think that'll work for let's say it's a young teenage boy, 15, 16. But Razor just works, period. Razor is going to work for the rest of that kid's life. That's just their first name. It's not even an abbreviation. People will have to call them Razor. They can't just be I'm not calling you by that dumbass nickname. You're not the Goose. Your name is Steve. I don't care what everybody at the frat house calls you. This motherfucker's name is Razor. They're going to have to say it. You're going to have kids who are going to be I'm worried about Razor's reading progress. And you're going to have to dead-eye stare them in the face and go, Razor doesn't need to read. He just needs to know how to kill. And that's it. You could stand up and walk out. Parent-teacher conference over. Your kid's graduating because they don't want to deal with the kid who only has to know how to kill. They don't teach that in 5th grade. It's just you to get him out of here. You got to get into middle school where they don't explicitly teach you to kill. It's just kind of a natural consequence of the fact that everyone's hormones are exploding in the middle school context. So now I'm coming around on Razor. I'm coming around on Razor, but not Callahan. Just Razor.
It's a package deal, though, isn't it? We can't. Although, again, if it gets abbreviated, maybe people just sort of forget the Callahan bit.
What if you went with Razor C, like a Racer X, but Razor C? It's there. You're still homaging
as opposed to E-Razor.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, which is definitely a Mega Man 8 character. It's definitely a Mega Man 8 boss. Or at least a Power Rangers enemy. There's got to be something there. But
I can't remember what Schwarzenegger's name is in Eraser, unfortunately.
God, I'm sure it's
True Lies. I could still remember. I haven't even seen that in ages. It's Harry Tasker, I think. God, why do I remember that?
Well, because his name is Harry Tasker, which sounds like you're talking about a piece of anatomy. It's his. We're talking about his Harry Tasker. Great, awesome. I love that for me.
God. But no, Eraser, it's not there, unfortunately.
That's going to go with the 16 randomized balls at this point. Oh my God. John's not even here this week. I can't blame this shit on him. All right, Guillaume.
Apparently, Bono didn't have anything. Edge didn't have anything to do with the Mission Impossible. I don't know why I misremembered this so badly.
Because GoldenEye and Mission Impossible came out really close together, and they were both kind of, they're both like revivals of old espionage things. It's pretty easy to see how that would happen.
So I assume that means Pierce Brosnan is also still playing 007, right?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay, good.
Although it's weird, they've been shockingly few, but I mean, it's only him and Daniel Craig, right? So I mean, it's actually not that many more recastings, at least with the next one pending.
Yeah, I mean, really, it's Tomorrow Never Dies is the only movie that matters in that franchise anyway, so it's fine. God, that's not even his worst one, is it?
No, not for me anyway. I mean, it's not great from what I can recall.
It's bad.
But what's his face? Die Another Day. That was the idea for me. That was really way down there.
God.
And there's been some low points, before that. But that was way down there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Die Another Day I actually didn't mind too much because I was in college at that point, and me and one of
I think I remember this. Yeah,
one of my friends, like we watched the whole series leading up to Die Another Day. So,
oh god,
if anything, it was fun to see like all the references in that one room. When he's just like the jetpack and like But yeah, ultimately, I guess I probably objectively it's very bad.
Lord. All right. So, gentlemen, we're now tasked with if there's a name that we believe is functionally okay from video games that we could give a child and feel confident that they will be safe, that they will feel loved and nurtured, and that they will not be the target of incessant bullying. And I suggest Raymond Bryce, because everyone knows what he did. He saved the world from the bear who controlled the fire tornado, which is shockingly not that far from the plot of the game. I am not explicit. It is not out of the possibility that a bear could have controlled a fire tornado.
The bear was behind everything.
Yeah, I mean, like, bears have the ability to press buttons. There is a device that can create tornadoes. The fire tornado is simply a consequence of it picking up a fire. Therefore, a bear could have been responsible for a fire tornado QED.
I love how almost everything in that is a reference to something from the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
Even stuff that's less obvious than just, the really popular stuff that was going on about at that time. But like the Edge is the bear movie. Right? It's Anthony Hopkins and one of the Baldwins. Mm-hmm. They're like trapped out in the wilderness, and there's this bear. It's a really good. The shots actually. It's a real bear. I mean, it wouldn't. Obviously years later it would have been CG, but they just had this sort of really well trained bear, and he's like screwing around with logs that they're trying to cross over a gap on, and he's he's in the water and he's trying to kill him and all. It's actually shockingly decent kind of animal based action footage, and I guess it made a real impression on someone at Monolith because they're like, we've got all this crazy shit going on that's even heightened from all the 90s inspirations like The Rock or whatever else. We've got to get the bear in there. The bear has got to be in.
But I think that was a Baldwin Prime. It was a Alec Baldwin.
Oh, okay.
Alec Baldwin, right? Yeah.
What if Speed, but you were the bus? God.
But it's basically just a bit where they get it onto the runway and are doing, just the speed in perpetuity. It's like Desert Bus, but on a runway.
Nice. So I was trying to think I was going through lists and okay, what video game characters do I remember who just have completely fucked names? And it's not. Let's say, for the sake of argument, that it's a daughter. Well, there's a character in the Devil May Cry universe who's simply named Lady, and I feel like that helps out. I feel like that helps out just in general. It's easy to write. It's not like a fucking Kingdom Hearts character is going to have like random X's and shit in their name. It's just a word.
Okay, but it's also like a dog's name or a cat's name.
Okay, well, you know what?
It's all over the map. It's also a title as well, like nobility.
Yeah, see, so I'm saying she's noble.
So someone's going to think they're talking to a pet, and then another person is going to think, well, lady what? What great house are you from?
Mm. But what if she makes it into, like, what if she gets knighted or something and she's like, lady? And then she has to start her own, like, 80s duo pop synth group. Lady. I don't know.
Are you suggesting it would be a problem if she was like the lady of Lady Lister? Yeah, I'm not worried about that. You know what? She's already winning at life at that point. I don't give a fuck. Like, it's great. She did it. I'm proud of her at that point. But at no moment before then. At every moment in her life, are you really accomplishing your goals? And she's gonna look at me and go, "I'm 6 months." And I'm like, yeah, well, you're not conversational yet. Get on it. What was the name of the character they created for Shadows of the Empire?
I believe it was Dash Rendar.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I mean, Star Wars names are up there. There's some. Oh, sure. Yeah. There's some fucking awful Star Wars names. I mean, just bad. Just
but it is Star Wars. Yeah, like it goes together. What was the bad guy's name again? Prince Zizor?
Zizor, I think. I don't know. I only ever saw it in text, so right. I feel like they might have mentioned how it's supposed to be pronounced in the text somewhere. One of these like puff pieces hyping up the video game.
I just remember like reading the novel, and like they said that he could kick an apple off someone's head. That's the one detail I remember, outside of also that he had like pheromones that drove females crazy, and so he seduces Princess Leia.
What is the Star Wars equivalent of William Tell? That's what we need.
The challenge here of kicking an apple off someone's head, we all tautologically agree that functionally that is not significantly different than kicking, say, an orange off someone's head, that they are roughly the same size and target. The structure of them is different, but that functionally hitting that target is a comparable challenge.
But the orange is juicier. If you're going to shoot an arrow in it, it might get sticky for the person who was wearing the orange. The apple is a little bit more safe in that regard. But if you kick the apple, it's going to explode probably more than the orange.
I get that, but the question is, if I were to ask the author of this fine novel, could Dash Rendar kick an orange off the top of my head? I mean, like Dash Rendar, a Zizor.
Yes.
There are two possible answers. One of them should be, logically, yes, he could do it. The other one would be, no, there are no oranges in the galaxy. And I find that's
they probably have oranges, they just call it something weird.
And they're blue. You know?
They've got hot chocolate up there. Back then, whatever, like, I don't know, a long time ago, like, they have coffee, they have, but I don't think they call it coffee.
No.
I think that hot chocolate is called hot chocolate, though.
Good. You know what? To the fucking Star Wars wiki.
I'm probably misremembering everything here. It's been a long time.
There is an article in the Star Wars wiki for hot chocolate for both a canon and Legends version of it.
Okay.
And besides that, the stuff just plain tasted good is the quote that goes with it. It's there, and there's a picture of I'm gonna say heroined out Luke with taking a mug. It says the keep the drinks coming, please, and it's a steaming mug being handed to him.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, Timothy Zahn has a lot to answer for.
Also, apparently, Lando Calrissian, huge hot chocolate fiend.
Of course.
I think I was thinking about fighting games, and I think Guilty Gear has the most insane names.
Oh, shit, yes.
Dr. Baldhead is a good name for your child.
Yeah.
It's a good one. There is one that I want to say is just named That Man. He's one of the villains.
Well, isn't again like a good bad man actually something Saul
Goodman.
Saul Goodman from Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
sure.
That's the thing. I mean, for all I know, bloody Hot Coldman could have like an incredible 5-season TV show made about how he ended up being Hot Coldman.
That's right.
I'm sorry, it's not Saul Goodman. It's Saul Bad Guy.
Yeah, Saul Bad Guy. Yeah. Guess what? He's not the hero. In case you're curious. I mean, one of the
I'm surprised, James. I think if John were here, he may have brought this up. I'm surprised you haven't gone into the way of the Warrior mines.
Oh yeah, no, I mean that's true. You're right. Shaky Jake is right there, and that's on me. I am responsible for not remembering Shaky Jake, and I cannot be forgiven for that.
So I posted a picture in the Discord chat. Can you guess this character's name?
Hold on, I need to find the Discord chat because Discord has made that very difficult. I know this character's name, and I'm blanking on it right now. Shit.
But just like from the look.
The
head covering the... It's got an X on it. That might be a clue.
It'd be like Fighter X or some bullshit if this was...
Does it remind you of a 90s band frontman?
Yeah, all of them would be my answer to that.
Oh, okay. Well... Yeah, maybe you've got a point there. Axel.
It's specifically Axel. The head covering.
Axel Lowe for some reason.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, you could get into the localized Mega Man X enemies' names and just name someone. If you're going to go after characters named after rock band members, Duff McWhalen. But
that's amazing.
Because the localizer really like Guns N' Roses, so we got a bunch of fucking characters named after rock people. Like Axel the Red. It's the fucking thing with the flower on its head.
What's the real guy? Is it Duff McKagan? Is that the real name of the guy? Yeah.
It's so stupid.
And then obviously, Chrono Trigger, you had Ozzy, Slash, and Flea, didn't you?
Yeah, you did.
I think they were just food puns in Japan.
Yeah,
the three Mystics people, but they're just probably for a bit. I mean, not that we're definitely not above puns here.
Yeah,
that's for damn sure. But I don't know whether we're quite as big on the food puns as the Japanese are. They've really got a big thing for that.
Yeah, I mean that game I mentioned earlier in the direct that was like kanji. It's just a bunch of fucking puns. The game, there is a sequence in one of the later Ace Attorney games, like it's like a type of comedy in Japanese, like from like the 1800s, 1900s. That's all just about characters speaking in puns, and they made an entire fucking mystery around one of those, an entire case, and they just basically just gave the localizers 2 middle fingers and said, "Have fun, assholes," and they pulled it off. That must have been an absolute goddamn nightmare. I'm still thinking about Dr. Baldhead. And like, if you're...
What's the guy, the guy, the character that's in Wario Land 4, I think we might not only just be in Wario Land 4, even among the Wario Land games, but I think he started off life in for the frog for whom the bell tolls, or the game in it was Japan only on Game Boy. Is he like Mad Science-Stein or whatever? Like, I forget. In Wario Land 4, he's like in those like the sort of subsections, like little puzzle rooms that are all multicolored, and you can like pick him up and throw him as a way of getting the jewel that's in there. But yeah, he was like a little sort of reference back to other R&D1 stuff, and I think it was, again, it might have, because of course the first game he's in wasn't localized, but I think it was localized eventually as Mad Science-Stein or something silly like that. It's like, wow.
I mean, at least you know what he stands for, which is mad science. I feel like I'm missing some good fighting character names. Like, I mean, Asuka R Sharp in fucking Guilty Gear is another one where it's just like Guilty Gear is completely out of hand. Like that's the problem. It's too far. Like there's literally a character named Potemkin.
Mm-hmm. Like I just posted Gold Lewis Dickinson.
Yeah, no, that's
good. It's good. Could also be a rock reference because of Iron Maiden frontman Bruce Dickinson. We don't know.
You know what? That's true. I'm trying to think what other like I'm sure Arc Sys games all have terrible names. At least their characters do, because like Guilty Gear is not unique in that.
No.
Actually,
I just can't remember that many. Yeah, funny names, and like it's kind of all mood anyway. Like not only I won't have kids, but it wouldn't fit with Veillette. You know, I can't be like, yeah, this is Birdo Veillette, or like it's just
why not? Why not?
It just doesn't work in my language. What can I say?
Cathy
Veillette, like it's not gonna happen.
Is that
of course, from East.
Oh, okay.
Not even Spike.
Spike
Veillette, no.
Who the fuck is Spike?
So
for the sentimental value, all the things, all the experiences you've shared with Spike.
You know,
beloved character Spike.
I was thinking about Art of Fight. Oh, go ahead.
Like but we can play as Spike in Mario Kart World. Have you tried that? It's monstrous. It's like nightmare-inducing because sometimes like he'll just, when you do like the tricks, he'll just like get the spike ball halfway out of his mouth and then swallow it back. It's not something that we're supposed to see.
Teasing us. Look what I can do, kids.
It's monstrous.
I was thinking about SNK because they pioneered this space, and I don't want to give Arc Sys all the credit when they're following in the footsteps of giants. So I went to Art of Fighting, which is kind of their like crossover-y thing, and there's a Mr. Big, which is fine. That's his name, but there's also a Mr. Karate, and I feel like we're getting closer on that one. Like, are you going to mess with the kid named fucking Mr. Karate? He's like 6 years old, and his name is Mr. Karate Smith. No, I'm not going anywhere near that kid. That kid's trouble. Like, that kid is actual fucking trouble. I'm not dealing with that. Like, am I going to be his friend? No. I'm not going to be his enemy either. That kid is dead to me immediately. Like, I am keeping all distance.
No, Mr. Karate was my father. Call me Mr. Karate.
Call me Mr. Karate Jr. I mean, this is also the Geese Howard series, so like that's part of it. We're dealing with a series that made the most terrifying man in the world's name Geese, the plural of goose. This is not now and nor ever was a serious company. Roddy Burts, excuse me, Birts. Fucking terrible last name. That's not my name. My kid Roddy Burts. Everyone will get it wrong. It made me feel so good.
Wait, which Final Fantasy game does Bart's appear in?
That's fifth.
All right, yeah. Well, you got to complete the joke by turning it into Borts.
Damn it.
Well, it was like I don't know, like Butts in. I can't remember if Butts is the official name or the mistranslated fan translation.
My son is also called Butts.
It's a good name. It's a good name. All right, I think that'll do it for this one. And before
Butts Veillette. Yeah, I could go with that. Sure.
All right. Well, you can send your email to buttsveillette at rfn@nintendoworldreport.com. That's rfn@nintendoworldreport.com. Put subject Butts Veillette in there for an extra chance to get read on the show.
Promo
code Butts Veillette.
Promo code Butts for, I don't know, fucking free bets or whatever the fuck people do promo codes
for exactly 1% off your VPN service.
Bets for butts or butts for bets, whatever way you want it around. This campaign is going to be gold. It's finally going to be our ticket to the big time. We'll just have to ruin people's financial well-being.
We're finally selling out, boys. We did it. 10 years, and we finally achieved the dream. All right. Well, it's time for us to go cash in our ill-gotten gains. So, Greg, what is our music to end the show this week?
First of all, I do want to mention, I've blown past this a couple of weeks in a row or so.
Yes.
There was a new Radio Trivia that went up last month now, not so new, but still most recent episode that TYP has put up. And I'd say it's probably not worth spoiling one of the games because I think everyone is going to get the first game, but it's still well worth tuning in to listen to the discussion around that and, of course, all the other games. You'll get it and you'll enjoy the music, but yeah, I definitely wanted to call that out because I wanted to do it last week and the week before, but, we get here and I'm sleepy and I'm ready to go to bed.
Likewise.
and stuff happens and then you blow past it. But terms of this week's closing music, well, earlier in the week, I think it was on the 8th, it was the 30th anniversary of the release of Yoshi's Island in Japan, which didn't take too long to come over to the US. I think it was a couple of months later in October, and pretty much simultaneous in Europe as well, actually, which was not that common in those days. I think DKC was like even tighter though, to be fair, but I guess that was a little bit of an outlier, actually being developed outside of Japan in the UK specifically in that case. But one of the last sort of major 16-bit games that Nintendo released, and kind of one of their last 2D kind of goes at the platformer genre before they would take it into 3D with Super Mario 64 the year later. And in some ways, it kind of foreshadowed some of those things of the exploration element and the kind of the lesser focus on just kind of getting to the goal, more about finding all this stuff in the level. Was kind of there, some of the hinting at some of the ways that they were going to take things in the next generation, but equally something entirely of its own aesthetically and game design wise. Obviously, it's kind of a weird decision in some ways, considering the relative consistency of bringing out Super Mario Brothers, and then I guess whichever Super Mario Brothers 2 you want to look at, and then Super Mario Bros 3 and Super Mario World, excuse me. Like that was a pretty consistent cadence, and then all of a sudden we didn't have anything in that sort of vein until Yoshi's Island, and it's that different with Yoshi, the whole projectiles element and all this, their health being so different and all that. Quite very sort of bold in a way to take that long and to release something that different in such a bankable kind of series for them. But it reviewed very well at the time. I had it for Christmas that year, absolutely loved it, and it was kind of basically my farewell to the Super NES. It was the last game that I had for it while it was while the games were still coming out, because like Super Mario RPG didn't end up happening because it didn't work with the converter I had. So it was I went from Yoshi's Island to Mario 64. That's basically what happened that year. But of course the soundtrack's another memorable part of the game, and what it did, there's been just recently, Mario Kart, World has got some cool sort of remixes of Yoshi's Island stuff. We talked about that. And then, of course, back with the Booster Course Pass, there was a really cool version of the athletic theme, they call it, from Yoshi's Island in that for the Yoshi-specific course there. And well, I'm going to go with that song, but I'm going to go for something a little more vintage, a little more close to when the game actually came out. We've used some stuff from this series before of the Japan orchestral game concert sort of series, and I believe this is from the 5th one. As best I could pin down, it came out, the sort of album, the CD in Japan would have come out at the beginning of 96, so pretty tight to when Yoshi's Island actually came out. And what this does is actually take that athletic theme from Yoshi's Island and slow it down quite a bit, actually, and it really works, I think, at the slower tempo. It just, and with the full orchestra and all that kind of, just makes it really playful and fun. And yes, it's somewhat different from what's actually in the game, but it just makes it really work.
Cool. All right. Well, on that, it is time for us to go. Guillaume, we'll see you in a few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy your time off.
Right. Thank you.
All right. And on that, bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.